Okay, so we're recording now, so let me just pick up the slide I wanted to look at. Okay, so well done those of you who are sort of keeping up. So what I've really been doing up to now, I've been, because obviously we're really thinking particularly in mind with the students who may be doing maths for A-level, or those who think they may want to take the GCSE, IGCSE in September if the grade they're allocated isn't quite what they're looking for. So we've really been sort of aiming the work at the higher end. So up to now, the previous 3 revision lessons, I've been setting up an assignment, which was the Corbett Maths topic, specific topics. And as you know, I've been sort of taking their further maths topics. So that sort of subject that some of those people have been doing in top set. Now they're good. And I think if you guys want to just keep on top of your maths, to just go into the Corbett Maths website, take any of the, and then click on the further maths option, and then anything that takes your fancy, just have a go at those questions, and you've got the answers there that you can click on to. So it is something that we will, I will go back to, but I thought for a while it might just be quite nice if I just literally talk you through a topic, then you go and do the appropriate Hegarty maths exercise, because that immediately gives you your results. You know you're on top of it. I would still encourage you to try and upload your workings, if you've got workings, onto Teams, because Hegarty is quite a blunt instrument when it marks. It either marks it right or wrong. So it could be that you're getting all the questions wrong, and getting 0 on Hegarty, but you're nearly there. So if I was looking at it, I might be able to give you some method marks, and then as I go and put my mark, as I copy the mark across from Hegarty onto Teams, I might be able to bump up your mark a bit. Okay, so I still encourage you to go and upload your Hegarty workings onto the appropriate assignment page, and I'm going to carry on. I'm going to carry on setting assignment pages. I'll come back to that in a minute. But at the end of the day, if after this lesson you guys go on to Hegarty Maths, go and do 913, if you go and get a good mark on that, I'll see that mark. I will just copy that mark straight across. So it's not the end of the world if you don't go and upload your workings. So 913 is the Hegarty Maths I would like you to do, please. Just to remind you, if you haven't been on Hegarty Maths recently, as you go, so Hegarty Maths just on Google, and then student login, and then when it prompts you for the school, I would suggest you start typing in Gloucester, and then take the King's School Gloucester option. It will then take you through your name and stuff and your date of birth. It's possible that you might stumble at that point, because I know the school have loaded some people's incorrect dates of birth into Hegarty Maths. So if you can't get past that step, let me know. Just contact me through team notes, and I'll just check what date of birth Hegarty think you've got. And then if you've forgotten your password, no big deal. Again, just let me know through Teams, and I will reset your password. I can do that in seconds. So I've gone and set number 913 up as your task. Now, Hegarty is taking ages to load things up at the moment, so don't be put off if it's not saying it's an assignment that I've set you. Just go and search 913 and go and do the questions on 913, and making sure it's differentiating to find turning points 1. Also, ignore any other outstanding Hegartys. I know I've set lots in the past, some of them voluntary, so don't feel you've suddenly got to get up to date. Just do the ones that I set lesson by lesson. So all I want you to do after this brief lesson is to go and complete the 913 Hegarty, and I will just hopefully you get a good mark. I'll just copy that across to our mark book, and our work is done. So just to remind you, so if we've gone and got this question here, so find the coordinates of the turning point on this curve. Okay, now this would be a quadratic. This isn't, so this is going to be a smiley face. So it's not the one I've got here, but I just wanted to demonstrate to you how you could get both maximum and minimum points. Okay, obviously with a quadratic, you can have a smiley face which has got a minimum, or a sad face which has got a maximum point. Now, remember when you differentiate, what is the point of differentiating? When you differentiate, your differential allows you to work out the gradient at any point, the slope at any point. So at a maximum or a minimum, the gradient, the slope is 0. It is flat. So once we've differentiated, and I'll come back reminding you how to do that in a minute, once we've differentiated, we go and say, right, what values for x are such that it gives us a 0 gradient, and we just go and solve that, and that gives us the x values. So at a turning point is either a maximum or a minimum. That is when the gradient is 0. So how do we differentiate? So just to remind you, for each term, you multiply by the current power, then reduce the power by 1. So for this first term, we multiply by the 2, 2 2s are 4, and then we reduce the power of 1. So x squared becomes x to the power of 1, which is just x. Now minus 16x, when we differentiate, just becomes minus 16. Because think about 16x as being 16x to the power of 1. We multiply by the 1, giving us minus 16. The power reduces from 1 to 0, and x to the power of 0 is 1. So that's why this term here, when it's differentiated, becomes just minus 16. So whenever you've got a coefficient in front of the x, when you differentiate that term, you're just left with the coefficient. And you might remember the minus 6 just drops away, but that's effectively minus 6 x to the power of 0. Multiply by that 0, you get 0. So whenever you've just got a number on its own and you differentiate, it falls away. So step 1, we've gone and differentiated this, giving us dy dx being 4x minus 16. Because we're trying to work out a maximum or a minimum, we set that equal to 0 and we solve it. And that gives us an x coordinate of 4. Now we're being asked to work out the actual turning point, the actual coordinate. So here or here, for example. So what we need to do, we need to work out the y value. And to work out the y value, you just go and substitute the x value back into the original curve. Don't bother substituting it into the differential, you just get 0. So take your 4, substitute it back into the curve itself. And I've done that down here. That gives me a y value of minus 38. So my turning point is 4 minus 38. So hopefully this will be something you can do quite straightforwardly. And what I thought we'd probably do is then move on to some other differentiating topics going forward. But I'm hoping the fact that I just set some Hegarty's doesn't make things so onerous for you. You can just go and spend 15, 20 minutes just doing the Hegarty, get 100%, get 80%, whatever, and just move on. Now, I did mention that I wanted you to, in the perfect world, still to upload your workings onto Teams. So just to remind you how to do that, because some of you are still not quite doing this exactly the way that makes it very easy for me. So you go and, yeah, this is yours, Alex. All right, so you go and click on homework, and you will see that you've got all the various assignments all waiting there for you. At the time that I prepared this slide, revision 4 wasn't ready yet, but it's just going to be there when you go on in a minute. So you go and click on revision 4 and the page comes up over here. And then the important thing to do, you double click on it a few inches down to go and generate this rectangle. Once you've done that, then the insert option comes into play. If it's something that you've scanned, so you've got it in Word or PDF format, you take the the first option, I forget what it's called now, file. You take the file option, but then make sure you don't insert as an attachment, you take the other option. Do not insert it as an attachment. If you have gone and taken a photo of it, so then you click on insert and you just take the picture option and you just do that. But either way, you've got to go and generate this rectangle first. Okay, so please try and do that through Class Notebook. Do this through Class Notebook. Quite a few of you are still trying to upload it straight to assignments, which I can then sort out, but it takes me 5 minutes each time, so it's just a bit of a pain in the neck. So if you can get used to actually loading it straight up onto the page that's waiting for you, Class Notebook, homework, and then the appropriate page. Don't go and create a new page. The page will be there waiting for you. And then over here, you've got to get this rectangle thing up before the insert will actually work. So that's it, folks. So I'm going to finish the live chat now. It would be great if you could all go and try and get your Hegarty working. I'll make sure I'm keeping an eye out because I suspect there'll be a few people struggling to load onto Hegarty. And I'll also be keeping an eye out for your marks. And the second I've got a mark there, I will just go and transfer it over to this appropriate page, so that I'm just going to make sure that every lesson we have a page, be it a Hegarty lesson or not. Okay, guys, that's it. Take care. Oh, hi, Taya. It's nice that you're there. Right, next up.